And now to my final story. Nigerians in the diaspora are being called upon to help shape the nation's future through a groundbreaking survey tied to President Bola Tinubu's budget of restoration. Convened by Mazi Azu of the UK-based Centre for Leadership and Good Governance, the initiative is set to capture the unique challenges and opportunities faced by Nigerians abroad. Mr. Mazi Azu, Happy New Year. Thank you so much for joining us in our kind of makeshift studio outside the Palace of Westminster. It looks warm, but it's very cold. I've got to say that so our viewers are not deceived. It is freezing here in the UK. Not so freezing where President Bola Tinubu has been over the past couple of weeks. We just started the year, but the president has been in Abu Dhabi. I saw some State House pictures of him with the president of Rwanda, Mr. Paul Kagame, which is good. It's always nice seeing African leaders together. And then, of course, he was in Accra for the presidential inauguration. Before we get into your survey, what do you think of the fact that the president has gone in, started the year on this diplomatic drive once again?
Thank you very much, Juliana. It's my pleasure being with you again. Obviously, I would say that the president may have started on a good note on his diplomatic global throttling from Africa to the Middle East, and hopefully other places he plans to visit in the next coming weeks. But for me, I think the most important thing for Mr. President now is to sit down and reflect in the last 1 year past.
Well, reflecting takes time. Reflecting
He shouldn't take him much time. He's been in this system. He's been in this structure.
Reflect on what precisely?
He has to reflect on what he has achieved in the last 1 year, global threatening, diplomatically around the world, marketing the Nigerian renewed image or his renewed agenda to the friends of Nigeria without a proper organized and structured diplomatic institutions in most of these countries.
Why would you say the strategy is disorganized? I've seen it. It seems pretty organized to me. He's been very well received on the global stage. In fact, he was treated like a king in Accra a couple of weeks ago.
Well, you see, you can be treated like a royal or treated like a presidential figure based on the fact that that is your office. Yeah. But the fact is that it is very unprofessional. It's undiplomatic. If a country as big and as highly regarded and respected around the world like Nigeria for 1 year plus hasn't got a proper substantial or designated ambassadors to represent the image of the president in any of these countries.
Yes.
Because that is the image of the country and the president in those countries. Even while he is not there or while he's about to visit, normally there should be that respect, reciprocal respect by the countries where we have developed diplomacy or diplomatic relationship with. Because, for instance, the British government cannot just suddenly change government and not send an ambassador to Nigeria
We do have, just for the record, we do of course have ambassadors and high commissioners in place. It's just that these haven't been sworn in under the Tinubu administration. There's so much we can go into. Let's talk about the reason why we're sitting in Westminster, which is because, surprise, surprise, I got a message from you and your group a couple of days ago, basically seeking information in a manner of a survey, looking at the budget of restoration and how this can benefit the diaspora. Talk to me about that initiative and what you're seeking to find.
That initiative came as a result of the fact that personally I have been involved in the diasporan community for over 15 years now. I have served as one of the diasporan community leaders in the UK here, and I have served as a leader of the diasporan community across Europe. And also I have a huge, wide network of diasporan communities that I relate with across the UK, across Europe, and across the continental global diaspora community. And one thing we are resonating with is that there is this disconnection in terms of engagement. positive and productive engagement between the diasporans and the Nigerian government over the years. And there is a need.
You don't think it's improving? Because, my goodness, there are many associations, many organizations that bridge the gap.
You see, we need to be organized in order to have a productive result from our engagement. Fragmented engagement does not produce a constructive outcome, and that is the problem we're having with the Nigerian community and our engagement with the Nigerian government. So in the last couple of weeks, I've been working with some couple of people to find a way to engage with our community through surveys, because we have a lot of social media informations which are also fragmented. Those who are passing,
you're talking about the communication that's coming out
of the social media from the diaspora are not coordinated properly, and they don't seem to represent the collective interest of the actual diaspora.
So why does the brunt of that lay at the foot of the presidency?
Well, the fact is that apart from the survey on the budget, we've done a survey on the tax reform. And we got over 350 responses of people around the diaspora communities that responded based on their understanding of the tax reform and how it affects the ordinary Nigerians back home, and how it affects the Nigerians here in the diaspora. And so we also done a survey last week, which came out last week, on the Kame Bodnok issue and the government of Nigeria. And so this is something that we're trying to do in an effective manner, not just people waking up and just throw messages on social media or throw articles on the media space, but being able to sample the minds and opinion of people and aggregate this opinion and come up with something that you think may be a resonating agenda for the diasporas.
What are you hoping some of these findings are going to lead to? As you said, you feel as if the Nigerian community, not just in the UK but across the diaspora, are fragmented. Lots of people would say no. Of course, we've got NIDCOM led by its chairman, Honourable Abike Dabiri. There's also CANOC, which is the Central Association of Nigerians in the UK. NIDO, who have been in a public spat on Twitter. X, formerly known as Twitter Reason. So there are groups, but of course you're seeking something different. Talk to me more about that.
Yeah, well, what we're trying to find out is how do we pass a message representing the voices of a collective group of diasporans who may have faces, may not have faces, but they're existing members of the Nigerian community, either in the UK or around the world. I belong to a wider group of this collective of Nigerians, and what we want is to get the president to understand that there is need to strengthen the engagement platform between the diasporans and the system or the institution that is being established to manage that communication.